Ladies and gentlemen, we are filming here on Monday, I almost said May, September 29th, and this the show will premiere here on, while you're listening to it, on October 1st, making it our first show of October for 2025. So we are going deep into the fall season now, and Halloween's around the corner, so everybody's getting ready to rake their leaves, decorate, and have all that fun stuff. But before we get into that, there's a lot to talk about, especially in October, because we will see Ohio, and I said Ohio, baseball in October. This is 10 Cent Beer Night, official sports show on FitToMentionRadio.com, Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio, every Wednesday, 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm Seth.
I'm Bob.
And he's a happy Bob. You know why? The Cleveland Guardians and the Cincinnati Reds are headed to the playoffs. And we are going to start off with that. Not only did the Guardians make the playoffs, Bob, they're Central Division champions.
Outright.
Yeah.
There was no tie.
No tie.
No tie.
No tie.
Outright. So
outright Central Division champion.
I mean, we're talking, come with September 3rd or something like that. They were 15 and a half games out, and they came back. The largest deficit since the divisional play.
Right.
It's the largest deficit. The largest deficit all time was 17 games.
Right. And who was that? Do you remember?
Philadelphia lost. I forget who beat them, but Philadelphia. It was like 1938 or something like that. They were up.
You're talking a long time ago.
Yeah, long before they had the divisions. Years ago it used to be
almost 100 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, years ago it was the American League plays the National League. There was no division. Whoever won the American League, whoever won the National League, they went to the championship.
Right.
But yeah, 17 games was the most ever. Philadelphia lost a 17-game lead. Think about that.
Wow.
I think it was 38 or 39. It was way back when.
Still, that's crazy. So that hasn't happened. A lot happened this past week with the Guardians. They took 2 out of 3 against Detroit, correct? They didn't sweep them there.
They took 2 out of 3.
They took 2 out of 3. Okay, I don't have it in front of me. I was going by memory. I know that they won the first 2. That was a big deal.
Well, they swept them in Detroit.
Yeah.
Then they come back here and they took 2 out of 3. And so 5 out of 6 of the last 6 games they played.
Which is what they needed to do. And then they took 2 out of 3 against Texas. They lost game 1. They clinched a playoff berth by a hit by pitch in the 10th inning it was. There was extra innings there. Bases loaded. Kifus got hit by pitch. That pitcher went almost 970 batters into the season without hitting a player, and he hit one at the wrong time.
And you see his reaction when he hit that guy.
Oh,
he threw his hat, fell on the ground. He
threw
I can't
a
think of the
temper
pitcher's
tantrum.
name.
Yeah, lefty from the Rangers.
He couldn't believe he done it. So
and then we had a walk-off home run in extras yesterday. Extras, right?
Extra.
I fell asleep during. I was.
And Rocon, was it Rocon?
Rockchio, yeah, Rockchio,
whatever.
Yeah. Rockchio with a 3-run blast
off
there.
the foul pole.
Right.
It hit the foul pole, which is a home run when it hit the foul pole.
I couldn't keep my emotions in check. I had been fasting all weekend, and I had a few drinks during the Browns game, and the Browns forced me to drink some more. So I passed out during the game, Elvin. So I missed. I saw they were down 4-3. I saw Christmas's home run, and then I fell asleep, and I woke up too, and that will do it. They're going to win the division. I went, oh. Cool.
But they were celebrating in the dugout around the 8th inning because Detroit lost.
Right.
And of course, I think they were down at the time, down or tied.
Yeah. But it was a done deal at that.
It was a done deal at that point. They were celebrating, and all of a sudden, they won it outright, right though.
Yeah. No, and that's the best way to go. And you want that hype in because we're going.
Guess who we're playing in the first round?
Detroit.
Detroit.
All in Cleveland.
That kind of scares me though. That kind of that one scares me. I think of all the playoff games, if Cleveland keeps going, that one's going to scare me the most because Detroit. Cleveland ran them down.
Right.
And they got something to prove. Wait, we ain't as bad as they think we are.
Right.
And then their star pitcher Scuba,
yeah.
He's starting the first game. Of course,
Right.
we got Gavin Williams going for us,
Right.
but that scares me. And so it's a 2 out of 3 series.
Right.
Luckily, all 3 games, if it goes that far, are in Cleveland. You know.
Right, correct.
So,
Tuesday through Thursday. While you're listening to this, they may have already wrapped up the series for all we know. Again, we're filming here on Monday. That's why I tell you at the beginning of the show when we're filming, because a lot of things could have changed by then. So yeah, just real quick, Bob, we'll switch the gears to the National League. Cincinnati Reds pulled it out. Mets had a downfall, loss. The bad week, horrible week for the Mets, horrible week, and which led to the Reds sealing the deal.
And
there.
I was listening this morning coming home from work to the Fan out of New York.
Yeah,
and you ought to hear the people griping about the Mets. You got one of the highest payrolls, like $555 million payroll.
right.
And then you got a little team like Cleveland with a $68 million payroll.
Right, absolutely. Yeah,
And
how good they were last year to the Mets, and then
it goes to show you money don't buy you happiness. Okay?
No,
money does not buy you happiness.
No. But Tito Francona's first year, in Cincinnati. If it wasn't for the Brewers, I would say Tito would be the NL Manager of the Year. I think vote should be the AL without a doubt. I'm sorry if he's not, they did it wrong. I will say it. And it's nothing against Toronto. It's nothing against Seattle. With what he did with what he had, and he pulled it off. You have to give him back-to-back AL Manager of the Year.
Besides Jose and Kwan, we really don't got no other superstars.
No.
We really don't.
No.
So but coming to the playoffs, those bats got to come alive.
Yeah.
You
have to figure it out. Now they're going to be without David Fry for pretty much the playoffs.
And I understand he's doing well.
Yeah. He was there celebrating yesterday. Yeah.
And no surgery is going to be involved and stuff like that. So, if you haven't heard, he got hit by in the face by a foul ball off a bunt try.
Yeah, 99 miles per hour, took it to the face. Skubal felt very bad when that happened. So of course
I think it might have been Skubal's downfall at that game, because he just didn't seem like he was up after
that in the hike when he hiked the ball to first base.
Under the leg. Whatever.
If he makes that, he's a genius. If he missed it, which he did, people are making fun of him.
It wasn't even close. It went over to first baseman's head.
Right. It's one of those things that it's like you're really gambling there. If you hit it, the nail on the head, like I said, you look like a genius, but he did not at the end of the day.
But the Reds, yes, I'm glad to see that.
Right.
And I think I texted you yesterday and said that I see an Ohio World Series.
Right. Well, for the Reds, you're talking about Cleveland, Detroit, which is a great rivalry. Reds have to go through the defending champions right now, so they'll be in Los Angeles playing the Dodgers, who won the NL
Dodgers
West.
struggled there for a while too.
Dodgers had a weird summer.
They're in the playoff. Everybody thought they was going to be probably the top team in the National League. Get that first round bye. Well, they didn't get the first round bye. You got Milwaukee and
Philly.
Philly got the first round byes.
Right. L.A. was, because I kind of pay attention to L.A. Closely. There was a lot of series they should have won. They did not. Their bullpen, especially Scott, the closer, who was one of the top relief pitchers, not a closer last year, but relief pitchers for the Padres in Major League Baseball period last year. He blew a lot of saves, a lot of opportunities. The bullpen was very hit or miss. It's very good. When it's on, it's the best bullpen, and I would even say better than the Guardians. But when they're off, they're off. And the hitting was everybody got hot and cold at the same time. It wasn't like, Jose's hot, Kwan is cold. It was like Ohtani, Freeman, Hernandez, all of them, hot, then cold. It was weird. They had a very so they were a good team this year, but they didn't win over 100 games like they did the past couple years. They just, so I'm going to say the thing they have going for them is it's a new season. But if they go into it playing like they had a good week this past week, so I won't count that. But
playing like when they started September off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, the Reds could put. Now, Reds did not do very well against them this year. I'll mention that. But other than that, Reds still have an advantage. You have Tito there, with his experience. This is not a one-off game like Tito had his first playoffs in Cleveland against Tampa Bay. You know, this is a best of 3, so he's going to get another chance at least. But you're going to see. I think the Reds. If I had to put a bet down, I'm going to say Dodgers are going to win that series. But I think Reds do have a chance.
I think the Reds can go 3 games with them.
Yeah, I can see that. I can honestly see that. And part of it is because of the injuries with LA. Now they are coming in with most of the starting pitching back. So you're going to have Snell, Glasnow. Yamamoto had a great year. Ohtani's probably going to come out of the bullpen. They're talking about Sasaki coming out of the bullpen. And he came out of the bullpen this week, and he was phenomenal. That Sasaki, that guy they thought was going to be Rookie of the Year, but he was hurt most of the year.
Yeah.
But all that being said, here's your match. Here's the final matchups here. We'll start American League. Detroit and Cleveland, which we talked about. That's going to be in Cleveland. I got Cleveland.
I think
winning,
Cleveland can win it, but I think it's going to go 3 games. I really believe that.
Part of me thinks it's going to be 2. I think they have their number, and I think they're hyped up right now. But I could also see 3, but I have Cleveland winning because they just have their number. They just do. And I think they're heated up right now, and I think Detroit's emotionally heated up, but they did not play very well against Boston.
They were so happy. Detroit was happy, you know, when they clinched the playoff spot the day before, because they knew they were going to go to the playoff course, and then they moved Stubel to Tuesday, because he was supposed to pitch for the last game against Boston.
Right.
And they moved it because I think so. They was thinking, well, we're in. Let's just worry about that right now, and not worry about the division. Of course, they end up losing the last game, and Cleveland wins, and we win the division outright. But I don't. You know, it's going to be a good series.
Yeah, I think a lot of Detroit fans are going to show up there.
I think we're a lot of Detroit fans there.
Winner of that series will play the 2nd seed American League West champion, the Seattle Mariners, who had a great year. Cal Riley, the first catcher to ever hit over 60 home runs in a season.
And personally, he should be the MVP.
It's hard to say. Judges' numbers all over the place are.
I know, but you got a catcher that hit 60 home runs.
On top of that, Bob, another guy that's going to be in the conversation, Jose Ramirez, who made history yesterday. Now, I think Jose is going to be 3rd or 4th on the list, but for the first time in Major League Baseball, this has never happened before. A player went back-to-back seasons with at least, because he hit home run number 30 yesterday, with at least 30 home runs, 20 stolen bases, and at least...
I think he had 40 stolen bases, didn't he?
You're right, correct. 30 home runs, 20 doubles. He had more than 20, but it's the first time a player went back-to-back with 30 home runs, 20 doubles, and 40 stolen bases in a year.
So, yeah,
that's never happened before. It's happened at different seasons, but it's never happened back-to-back.
They just honored it up in Cleveland yesterday, or Saturday. They honored Jose by naming a street after him.
Right.
He's the first active Guardian Indian, we'll go Indians player, to ever have a street name to him while they're still playing.
Right.
Of course, we got Lou Boudreau Boulevard up there and stuff like that.
Well, he became the extra base hits leader the other day for the franchise, too. I mean, that's a big... You're passing up Jim Thome, Manny Ramirez, Lou Boudreau, all those legends. And, I mean, he will be in the Hall of Fame, and he will retire. And you'll see a statue eventually. I think he's going to have the whole package, regardless.
Well, he loves Cleveland.
Right.
I mean, he signed a long-term deal for Cleveland where he could have went anywhere. He could have been in the New York market.
He took $150 million less than what he
could have. And because he said that, I watched the interview, of course. It's funny. You watch him talk, and of course he talks Spanish and got it interpreted. But at the end of the Fox game the other night when they won, they clinched the division, the interpreter wasn't there, and he was talking pretty decent English.
He's getting better at
You know, and but yesterday I listened to the little speech he gave at the and they named the road after him up there, Clark Field up there in Cleveland. They named the road that goes into the thing. How he really embraced how Cleveland accepted him and his family. How he loves this city, you know, and he lives in Cleveland. You're right. He at the end of the season, he'll go back to Dominican Republic. He goes back to visit family members and stuff like that, and then he will come back within a month back to Cleveland to start his routine till spring training.
Right.
So yeah, he said all that. He said all that. He said, I my heart's here in Cleveland, and I'm proud to be a Guardian. That's what he said.
It's an incredible story. It really is, because if you can remember, Francisco Lindor was the hot prospect shortstop at the time, and they had an injury back when Tito first started, and they said call Jose up from Akron. So they called this Jose Ramirez guy from Akron, and fans are going, "What about Lindor? You need a shortstop. I mean, he's at AAA right now. What's this?" And they said, "This guy's ready now. We saw him in spring training. We like what he was doing." And people were all part of it was a contract thing with Lindor. Like, if they called him up too early, they were going to owe him X. So It was kind of like, let him develop there. This Jose kid, though, we could call him up right now. And it was a slow start at first, but then they moved him to third base. He's all about it when Lindor came up and started making his own mark in 2016. And then he starts also playing left field, especially when Michael Brantley went down. And people talk about that 2016 World Series. They said he filled in for what Brantley couldn't be there to do.
I really like Brantley.
Yeah. Oh, I loved. He was a fantastic player, and I do think if Brantley, Carrasco, and Salazar were healthy, we'd be talking about 2 championships in Cleveland that year. But that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
But Jose just came in huge, and I won't forget that Game 4 home run he hit. That pretty much sealed the deal for gave him a 3-1 lead there. Unfortunately, he can only do so much, and we know how that story ends there. But there's a new chapter this year. They're in the playoffs there. The other matchups, another great rivalry, Yankees and Red Sox. Yankees are the 4th seed.
That's the rivalry game there.
Yankees are the 4th seed. They're going to have home field advantage the entire time, so they'll play Boston. And, I mean, this is going to get ugly.
Usually that series, home field don't mean nothing.
No.
These guys don't care.
Winner will play American League East champion and American League #1 seed Toronto Blue Jays. So this is a whole American League East matchup until the American League Championship Series there.
Well, last season we had 3 Central Division teams.
Right. So we have the 3 AL East
teams.
Winner of the Reds and Dodgers series will go play the #2 seed National League East champion Philadelphia Phillies, and then the San Diego Padres will be at the Chicago Cubs.
I'm telling you what, that could be a good game.
That will be Padres and Cubs, and my money would be on Padres, to be honest, going into this. Winner of that series will go play the #1 best team in Major League Baseball, best record, I should say.
As long as they're in it, they got the home field all the way through the World Series.
Correct. So. National League Central champions, Milwaukee Brewers. So there you have it. But hopefully, by the time you hear this, Cleveland and Cincinnati will be doing well in the playoffs. So, but
we got October baseball.
Yeah, in Ohio.
In both teams in Ohio.
Yes, absolutely. So, we had to go all baseball this time. But when we come back, we do have to take a break. We'll talk about our high school game of the week, and then we'll talk about what happened in college football this past week. Buckeyes cream another Big Ten opponent. And then we'll look ahead to see what other great matchups are in college football this week. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back to our second segment here on 10 Cent Beer Night, the official sports show of FenceMetroRadio.com. I'm Seth.
I'm Bob.
And you guys seem to have a solid game this past week for our high school game of the week.
Very good game. Very good game.
Coventry at Woodridge, and it was Woodridge pulled that off.
Yeah, 20-7. 27.
Yeah, and I did see.
And Jonathan Tyree was our player of the game.
There you go.
For Woodridge.
I followed it a little bit. I was able to Friday. I did see a third quarter. That was the score, so it was pretty much almost a scoreless second half then. If not a complete score. I didn't see the point breakdown, honestly, but so it sounds like a defensive
game. It was 14-7 at halftime, I think it was. 14-7, and then, of course, Woodridge scored, I think, the third. It was a 0-0 fourth quarter.
Okay, scoreless fourth quarter there. So just an overall good game there, so that's great. Our next game here for Fifth Dimension Radio this Friday for high school football is a special one because we're going back to Cuyahoga Falls, where the station's based out of. So we're staying in Cuyahoga Falls if you want to look at it that way. And it will be the first game in the new stadium. We did the last game at the old stadium.
At Old Clipper Stadium, and then we're going to be doing the game this Friday night at Lambert Field. Is the new name of the stadium, and I guess they're going to put a plaque up that night at Lambert, honoring Clifford, Mr. Clifford, that the old stadium was named after. So I did see that on their webpage. So that'd be an honor that night for Mr. Clifford. A little bit of history on that is, he's what was it? What year was that? 1930, the Doodlebug incident. It was a train wreck, and Mr. Clifford was killed. He was on the school board, and that's how they got the name for the stadium. And because I guess his family here, he has a business here in Cuyahoga Falls. All the family does and stuff. But so they're going to honor Mr. Clifford that night by putting a plaque at the new stadium. So Lambert is going to be called Lambert Field after Lambert Buick.
So there you go. Looking very forward to it. Should be a nicer press box, I hope, for you guys and everything like that.
I'll tell you what, the old press box, it was cramped, but it was nice. I mean, it was for an older press box. I know Mr. Felmy over there. He's had to sit in the corner.
There you go. So Cuyahoga Falls is 1-5 this year. We've done a show for them before. We haven't done for the Aurora Greenmen. So here's a breakdown of Aurora and their roster and everything. Aurora is 2-4 right now. Their wins came from Lutheran West on week 2, 47-0, and Revere 14-0. A couple weeks ago there. They recently lost to Copley 21-14. Upperclassmen on their roster: senior wide receiver and cornerback Quincy John, junior running back and middle linebacker Carter Romanek. Again, if I say Eddie Romanek, maybe the C silent there. Carter, yeah. If I say any of these names wrong, I do apologize in advance. Senior wide receiver and cornerback Ryan Sleece. Junior wide receiver and cornerback Luke McGovern. Junior strong safety and wide receiver Luke Heileditch. Senior wide receiver and outside linebacker Matt Felice. Junior quarterback Ryan Ziegler. Senior wide receiver middle linebacker Michael Wan. It could be Ewan, so I do apologize. Senior wide receiver free safety Nate Grummett. Senior Benji Nemeth. No position was mentioned there. Senior Xavier Board, running back and strong safety. Running back and middle linebacker junior Aiden Samalako. Fullback and middle linebacker senior Dominic Antonini. Senior cornerback and outside linebacker Joshua Harrell. Senior Ryan Sidal. Senior fullback and middle linebacker Alex Killian. So a lot of upper class, a lot of seniors on this team here. Senior guard defensive tackle Scotty Hapner. Junior guard Luca Fontana. Junior center Jacob Miller. Senior center and middle linebacker Michael Kennedy. Senior guard and defensive end A.J. Bruno. Senior tackle and defensive tackle Brady Anderson. Senior center and defensive end Austin Cook. Senior defensive end and tackle Lincoln Bannerman. Senior defensive tackle Grant Kurtnedge. Junior guard and defensive tackle Xander Carr. Junior tackle Michael Brickheimer. Junior tackle and defensive end Augustino Del Rosa. Senior guard defense tackle Aiden Jackson. And junior tight end Drew Scott. So a big team overall. 1-2 in their conference. So
I was looking up while you was saying that. I think I couldn't find it, but I think they have one Aurora has one guy that's committed to. Now, don't quote me on this. Committed to the United States Air Force Academy.
Okay.
So I was trying to find it out, but I know I read that somewhere. I'm pretty sure it was Aurora. So guy gonna want to serve his country and play some football.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
but it's hard to believe this is week 7.
Yeah.
Week 7 of high school football.
Week 7 high school football here.
And we've been doing this now. This is going to be the 7th week. That's hard to believe.
Yeah. I've seen some good games. Had a lot of fun. Aurora and Cuyahoga Falls both desperately need another win here, so it'll be interesting to see if Cuyahoga Falls can pull it out at home with their new.
Aurora is. I think they're 1-0. They are 1-1 in the conference. I think they're
1-2.
1-2 in the conference, and of course Cuyahoga Falls is 0-3 or whatever.
Right.
In the conference, the Suburban League. They're both in the Suburban
Their
League.
only win came against North this year.
Yeah, but it's non-conference games.
Right. So pregame 6:45.
6:45 with Ron and Chris, and 7 o'clock kickoff.
7 o'clock here. FifthDimensionRadio.com, TuneIn app, or Live 365, or straight from the website. Either one of those will work.
You can catch it on our YouTube channel either Saturday night or Sunday night. One of the nights as soon as our producer gets everything loaded up and stuff. Which usually it's Sunday. I usually post it on Sunday to the pages and stuff, and you can watch the video replay too with the audio and video.
Yep, there you go.
And then of course WAOHTV.TV Monday night 6 o'clock. We'll just go there. Say that.
Yep. So once again, Aurora at Cuyahoga Falls this weekend for Fifth Dimension Radio's high school broadcast there. Past week in college football, ranked teams that lost. We'll start with Friday because ranked teams got swept last Friday. Number 8 Florida State lost in double overtime to Virginia, 38-46. Students stormed the field right when they won the game, and one player on Florida State got hurt, and so that they're investigating into it. It wasn't. I hope it wasn't intentional, but they stormed. Fast. Right when the play broke up and it was official. They took off into the stadium. It was like that. So be careful out there. I don't mind stadium storms like that in big moments, but you still gotta watch out. Number 24 TCU lost to Arizona State 27-24. Arizona State's probably ranked now. They're 4-1 after that win, and Virginia might be ranked too. They're 4-1 as well after their win there. Other ranked teams that lost this past week: number 21 USC lost to number 23 Illinois 34-32. I did catch some of that game. That was a great game right there. Number 13 Ole Miss beats number 4 LSU 24-19 there. So Ole Miss probably shot up a couple spots there in the rankings. Let me see. Number 6 Oregon beat number 3 Penn State in double overtime 30-24. Drew Ilar threw an interception trying to attempt to set up a play to tie the game, and it was bad because both teams played a very good game until that point there. So Oregon improves to 5-0, and Penn State goes to 3-1 there. Number 17 Alabama beats number 5 University of Georgia 24-21. So that was a big upset there. So Bama probably will get up a little higher in the rankings, and Georgia's lost their second game already. So Georgia, it's not too late for them to join the playoff, but it's slip away. They can't lose another one, or you can forget about it. So I know Arkansas fired their coach this past weekend, so that came up there. Results in the Big Ten this past week: number 1 Ohio State did beat Washington 24-6. That was a good game there. I mentioned the Illinois USC game. Rutgers loses to Minnesota 31-28 in a close matchup there. Northwestern beat UCLA 17-14. Northwestern's 2-2. UCLA is 0-4. Number 11 Indiana beats Iowa 20-15 in a close matchup there. Indiana is 5-0. And I told you about Oregon and Penn State. This week's games here, everything on Saturday. Noon on Big Ten Network, number 22, Illinois will be at Purdue. Noon on Fox, Wisconsin will be at number 20, Team Up North. They're predicting 80 degrees and sunny for all of these right now. So it's going to be a beautiful October weekend here for college football. 3:30 p.m. on Big Ten Network, Washington at Maryland. I forgot to add the spreads. Illinois favored against Purdue by 8.5 points. Michigan's 16.5 points favored. Washington is 5.5 points favored there. 3:30 p.m. on CBS and Paramount Plus, number 7 Penn State at UCLA. Penn State is 25.5 point favorites in that one. 3:30 p.m. on Big Ten Network. University, I have to look at this one. UL Monroe at Northwestern. So that's a non-conference game there on Big Ten Network.
Monroe, I think it's out of Louisiana, eh?
Yeah, I believe so. Northwestern is 10.5 favorites there. 4 p.m. on Fox Sports 1. Michigan State at Nebraska. Nebraska is 10.5 favorites there. 7:30 p.m. on NBC. Minnesota at number 1 Ohio State. So, and Ohio State's 24-point favorites on that one there. So, as long as Ohio State keeps playing like they're playing, they should win that one. For the MAC, this past winners and losers, Akron is a big loser, 45-3. They had to turn to backup quarterbacks in this one. I guess the starter, his name's slipping my mind.
Tell you what,
Ben Finley, yeah.
Finley, yeah. Finley.
I guess there was an injury at the Duquesne game, and they had to hold him out of this one. And you see the result. Yeah, I mean, this was a team they upset last year. Did not happen this year. So Akron falls to 1-4, and Toledo is 3-2 there. Bowling Green loses to Ohio 35-20. Ohio improves to 3-2 there. Eastern Michigan loses to Central Michigan 13-24. Central Michigan improves to 3-2. San Diego State beat Northern Illinois 6-3.
Oh, a good baseball game.
Exactly. Defensive gain, a field goal game, and Northern Iowa in the MAC. Illinois, excuse me, in the MAC falls to 1-3.
Yeah, they're. This is the last year for Northern Illinois.
Right.
They're leaving the MAC after this season.
Miami of Ohio beat Lindenwood in Miami 38-0, and that's their first win of the season there.
Lindenwood, West Virginia.
UConn beats Buffalo 20-17, and UConn improves to 3-2. Buffalo is now 2-3. Western Michigan at home beats Rhode Island 14-47. Western Michigan's second win. That was Rhode Island's first loss. And then UMass, their first year in the MAC, and they're 0-4. They're still looking for that first win after losing to number 20 Missouri 42-6. And that was at Missouri there. So this week in the MAC, noon on CBS Sports, Ohio at Ball State. Ohio are 14.5 favorites in that one. Ohio pretty much the powerhouse right now in the MAC. 2:30 p.m. on ESPN Plus. Western Michigan at UMass at Massachusetts. Western Michigan are 12.5 favorites there. 3:30 p.m. on ESPN Plus. Central Michigan at Akron. Bob, you said you may not go to that game. I'll go to the game there.
We'll see. We'll see.
It'll be a nice day to tailgate and whatnot. Central Michigan is favored by only 8.5 points there. 3:30 p.m. on ESPN Plus. Eastern Michigan at Buffalo, and Buffalo are 10-point favorites there. 3:30 p.m. on ESPN Plus. Miami of Ohio at Northern Illinois, and Miami of Ohio is 4-point favorites there. 4 p.m. on SEC Network. Kent State at number 5 Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. I thought it was Nebraska.
No,
Oklahoma,
it's
yeah.
Oklahoma.
It's going to be a murder.
Oklahoma's 45.5 favorites. So, yeah, that's going to be a rough one.
Is Oklahoma ranked?
Yeah, fifth.
They're fifth,
Yeah,
in,
they're
the country,
fifth
in the country.
They're predicted to be right up there in that playoff.
Well, you know, Kent State, we know is going to get beat, but they're going to win. They are going to win.
They are going to get paid.
They're going to get a lot of money.
They're going to get a lot of money there. So,
I mean, that's what I don't understand. I mean, I know these schools they play these big schools like the Akron. Of course, they play Nebraska, and because they make a lot of They get a lot of money. Last year when Akron played Ohio State down in Columbus, Ohio State gave them $1.6 million to drive down to Columbus to play them. You know, I don't know what Oklahoma was paying Kent State to go out there to Norman, Oklahoma for, but I'm sure it's over $1 million.
Right.
So these schools.
I'll be a couple million.
I can understand because that money goes into the athletic department. You know, it help pay for the non schools the non-sports that don't make money.
Right.
You know, the baseballs, the track and field, stuff like that. That's what that money goes into. We know it personally. It goes back to the football program.
Right.
We know that.
Right. Absolutely. So.
But I did hear some good news the other day though that Cleveland State might be bringing back their baseball program.
Nice. No,
and possibility, a couple years down the line, their football program back. That school has grown. So
yeah, they're doing well.
Well, of course, they never had football. They're planning on bringing a football program. I think it's 2029.
Right. I mean, we talk about Ohio. I always say Ohio's a football state, and then when I talk about Akron, because it's my hometown. Akron's a baller town. But Cleveland, I mean, there's a lot of outside the team we got to talk about here a little bit. But they have a lot of semi-pro teams out there, believe it or not. We had an arena football team out there, you know. I think Cleveland State would get a good fan base out there, especially with Cleveland cleaning up and getting a lot more housing out there. And I mean good housing in downtown.
I'll tell you, if you go down around where Cleveland State is, down there off of, was it Euclid?
Yeah.
Down Euclid, go down Euclid. That area is really nice. They really put a lot of money in that area. They put a lot. I mean, that Cleveland State campus and everything looks beautiful down there.
Right.
And the storefronts around on the main drag and stuff. It's sort of like what they did with Akron years ago when they built Canal Park. Well, now it's 53 whatever stadium, whatever they're gonna call the place. You know, when they built Canal Park, of course, they started remodeling all these restaurants and buildings and stuff, and it's, you know, but that's what happened down there by Cleveland.
Well, I'd love to see a Cleveland State Akron football game. No matter where it's at, Cleveland or Akron, I would attend.
Well, I would like to see Akron play like Youngstown State. You know, that would bring people in because Youngstown ain't that far. A Cleveland State one, they need this. You know, you and I go to the games.
Yeah.
You know, and if they get 10,000 at a game, they had a great night.
Right.
You know that,
yes,
Seth.
Yes.
You know, and I just don't understand why people aren't going down and supporting. Don't get me wrong. I know the program hasn't been that good, okay, but still, it's cheap entertainment. You get good season tickets for almost really nothing.
Right.
You know, because we buy them and it's cheap entertainment. I just don't understand why people don't go down there.
In the words of the Iowa State fans that showed up a few years ago, you guys sell beer almost the entire game and everywhere. That's why we like it here.
Yeah.
So a lot all stadiums do that. Hey, we got to take a break though. When we come back, the Browns haven't won in Detroit since 1983, and that's still the streak as it stands. When we come back, we're going to have to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. But, hey, they got a new starting left tackle. We'll talk about that. Stay tuned. And we'll go to our last segment of 10 Cent Beer Night here at FitTheMessageRadio.com. I'm Seth.
I'm Bob.
There you go.
And that's Bob over there.
Yeah, there's Bob over there. And I'm sure if we were to bump into Bob Golick, he wouldn't have some nice things to say about yesterday. I'm sure if we took Bob to Bob.
Well, I know one person didn't have very much nice to say about yesterday. I watched This Morning. And a Browns veteran, an old veteran.
How old?
Probably in the 80s. But when Golick was playing.
There you go.
But it wasn't Golick.
You know, I don't know what Golick said, to be honest. I'm picking on him because he's a Bob.
But I did hear what, I'm gonna say the name, Greg Pruitt said.
Right. I mean, yeah, if it's out there, if it's out there, you can say it.
He wasn't too happy with the Browns, the ownership. Oh well.
No. They got scorched by Detroit yesterday, 34-10. I don't blame Flacco because I know there was a couple rough possessions there, but he couldn't get a drive moving with them dropping the balls all the time. He really couldn't, and there was random penalties all the entire time. The defense did not get to put as much good pressure on the quarterback as they wanted to. Dylan Gabriel did come out and play a little bit the last possession of the game. Didn't do anything with the ball this time. Last time he had a touchdown in the last possession, but this time he didn't. Which is whatever. It's game's over at that point, you know. Quinshaw Judkins played very well. The kid from Canton, Fannin, played very well. Those were the bright spots of the game there. But, I mean, they got to protect Flacco better. They have to draw up plays for him to get rid of the ball faster, too. I think he's holding on to the ball a little too long. And I think part of it is what the speculation is. Stefanski advances the playbook on veteran guys in the like. But Baker's first year and Deshaun's first year, he simplified it. The next year, he complicated it. And I think there's something ass backwards about that, in my opinion. Like I know this isn't rocket science. I know you want to fool these defenses, but you have all these weapons here, and I'm watching the Packers-Cowboys game and how their offenses operate with their weapons. I watched some of the Chargers game. They lost to the Giants, but they're one of the more productive offenses. Because that's my main. If the offense is my big issue with this team right now, they're not moving the ball. They're not putting points out. They're not giving our defense enough rest. And we saw it. And the other thing too, which you got to remember, not just rest for our defense, but the least time the opponent has with the ball, the less opportunities they have to score. And that's how you win the game. Football is a time management game. It's a possession game, and then of course there's points and everything involved. Stating the obvious, but they're not getting it done. And yesterday was just bad. The Green Bay victory. Honeymoon is over. They got that upset. I mean, Dallas almost pulled an upset against them last night, too. It ended up in a tie. None of us picked a tie there. No. We don't usually pick ties there. But, yeah, I mean, they got to do something here. Stefanski did say they're not going to change quarterbacks. Flacco's still the guy. I'm not against that right now. But I need to see these play calls go back. I kind of wish he would hand the play calling to Tommy Rees right now and let him – because –
well, I thought he was giving that up.
He did last year, but my speculation is he gave it up to Dorsey just so they could have a reason to fire Dorsey at the end of the year. I think they knew they were going to walk away from him.
They need to fire Stefanski.
Yeah, I mean, I do think if there's a move this offseason, if they're moving away from somebody, it's not going to be GM and head coach. It's just going to be head coach. I think Perry's made his place with the organization. I think him and Haslam are too close where Haslam's not going to be willing to give up Barry. So...
I mean, Stefanski, I don't know. I really don't see no improvement.
No.
Now, don't get me wrong. I know we opened the season, the first 6 games are tough games.
Yeah.
You know, I understand that.
But if you want to be a tough team, you got to win these games.
You got to win those games. Or at least keep them close.
Right.
You know?
Right. They kept the Bengals game close. That's the only loss that was close. They got blown up by Baltimore and Detroit, and they beat Green Bay. I mean.
And then Green Bay ended up tying yesterday.
Yeah.
So is Green Bay as good as people think they are?
That Green Bay defense did not look very good yesterday. It did. I mean, it did not. It's been rough, but going into Week 5, we don't know the result of tonight's Monday night games: the Jets at the Dolphins and the Bengals at the Broncos. But you know, that being said, we'll keep that in mind as we're going to make our picks here for Week 5 of the NFL. First picks for October, and we're going to start with Thursday, October 2nd, 8:15 p.m. on Amazon Network. The San Francisco 49ers at the Los Angeles Rams. Rams are 5.5 favorites in L.A. Bob, what do you think?
I'm going to take the Rams.
He's going to take the Rams. I'm going to take the Rams, too. Rams looked great against the Colts yesterday. Niners were upset by Jacksonville. Brock played his first game there. I think Purdy's going to play better this Thursday, but the Rams are playing very, very well right now, so I'm going to take the Rams as well.
I think they're playing a lot better than San Francisco's.
Sunday morning, October 5th, 9:30 a.m., NFL Network. we go to London as the Minnesota Vikings will take on the Cleveland Browns in London. These two teams
in London.
Yes.
By George, I think I got it.
These teams have played in London before together. Minnesota's 3.5-point favorites. Minnesota got bullied by Pittsburgh. I won't say. Well, I won't.
It wasn't bad. It was 27-24.
24-21.
Yeah,
it wasn't. But
it was
Minnesota did not play
that
well.
game. Where was that game played at?
That was Ireland.
That was Ireland.
So Minnesota probably is not coming back to the States. They're probably headed straight to London right now. So Cleveland headed up there.
You know what? I'm going to take Cleveland.
He's going to take Cleveland.
I'm going to take Cleveland. They're going to get him off of U.S. soil. Give him something different. Let him play in a soccer stadium. Maybe that'll help him out. Because they're probably playing in a soccer stadium.
Yeah, I think so.
Or a football stadium.
I'm going to take Minnesota by 4, like a 24-20 game. I did forget to mention the big news this morning. Browns did trade for left tackle Cam Robinson from the Houston Texans, and he'll be your starting left tackle for the rest of the season.
Well, you didn't tell me that. You should have said something, man. I'm still taking the Browns.
Here you go. He's going to take the Browns. I'm going to take Minnesota. They have not convinced me that they can beat. This Minnesota defense is very good. Despite how Pittsburgh passed against them last week, Minnesota defense is overall pretty solid. I'm take that Cleveland. And actually, that's the only game I think on the schedule they're predicting rain.
Because
England.
It's
in London.
Well,
yeah.
it rains all the time in London.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not gonna get political, but yeah, I mean,
I heard the other day about Seattle. Because we could end up going to Seattle if the Guardians win Detroit. They're going to Seattle. It rains 9 months out of the year in Seattle.
Right. Well, they have a roof. They have an attachable roof.
Well, I know,
Seattle.
but it gets a lot of rain in Seattle.
Right.
We need some of that rain now. Why don't you just give us some?
Nope. We got to get our own rain there. It has not rained in Ohio very much for people that don't know. We had almost 2 inches last week, and that's the first 2 inches since beginning of August, late July.
And they're not calling any for all next week.
Yeah.
They're not in their near future.
There you go. I think we'll have a wet fall. 1 p.m. on CBS this Sunday. Houston Texans at the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens are 4.5 favorites there. Ravens coming off a bad loss against the Chiefs. I mean, they got manhandled.
The Chiefs murdered them?
Yeah, 37-20.
Wow.
And Houston beat up Tennessee this past week.
I'll still take Baltimore.
I'm taking Baltimore too. I just think they're the better team right now.
They're the better team, and they ain't gonna be too happy after losing to Kansas City like that.
No. Losing that way, they're going to take it out on C.J. Stroud there. 1 p.m. on Fox. The Miami Dolphins, who play tonight as we're filming this, take on the Carolina Panthers, who got beat up by New England.
That game's in Miami.
That game's in Carolina.
I'll still take Miami.
I'll take Miami too. They're 1.5 favorites there. I think they'll win by a little more. I think it'll be close. Believe it or not, I could see a close matchup in this one. But I think Miami's going to take it. Give me Miami by like 14 points or something. I think it'll be close, and then they'll break loose. So there you go. 1 p.m. on Fox. Las Vegas Raiders coming off an interesting game there. They lost to Chicago by 1. And they're taking on the Colts, who just lost their first game to the Los Angeles Rams. Colts are 7-point favorites there. We're in Indianapolis. Bob, what do you think?
I'll take the Colts.
He's going to take the Colts. I'm actually going to take the Raiders here. They're starting to get better and better every week, I think. Colts showed some weakness in the last game against the Rams, and I think that's going to wake up the Raiders. And I think Raiders are a little ticked about losing that, letting that one against the Bears get by.
They're a good team.
The Bears are starting to get it together too. My gut says Las Vegas, so I'm going to go with Las Vegas here. 1 p.m. on CBS. New York Giants, who just won their first game with rookie Jackson Dart, will be at the New Orleans Saints, who have yet to win a game, and Saints are 1.5 favorites. Bob, what do you think?
I'm going to go with the Saints in New Orleans because they're in New Orleans.
Yeah. I will go the Saints by 3. Okay, and this is because Dart did play very well. They did upset a good Chargers team. But I was watching a good amount of the Saints game on Red Zone yesterday. They played the Bills. They lost 31-19, but they didn't play terrible against a good Bills team. The Saints is a team that they're very well coached, I think. They just don't have enough on both sides of the ball. But I can see them winning this game. I think the drought is over and they win this game here. 1 p.m. on Fox. The Dallas Cowboys coming off a tie against Green Bay, and they're going to play the New York Jets, who will play tonight. And Dallas is 2.5 favorites.
Where's that game?
It's in New York, New Jersey, New York, whatever.
In the Meadowlands.
The Meadowlands,
which is New Jersey.
Right.
I'll take the Dallas Cowboys.
I'm taking Dallas too. I was overall impressed with how well they played with Green Bay yesterday, especially how well the offense ran. I think they're just the better team here. Give me Cowboys by about 10 points here, at least maybe 13. 1 p.m. on CBS. Denver Broncos coming off. I'm trying to remember.
They came off a win.
Yeah. Oh, no, wait, we don't know yet.
Oh, that's right. They played Cincinnati.
They play Cincinnati, yeah. I thought that's what I could remember. Did they win yesterday? They're taking on the Philadelphia Eagles in Philly, who did win. They beat the Buccaneers there, and Philly's one of the few undefeated teams still.
I'll take Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I mean, Denver's playing well.
Philly's only favored by 3.5 favorites. Give me Philly by 6. I do think it's going to be a good game. This is going to be one of the better games of the week. 4:05 p.m. on CBS, Tennessee Titans, who have not won a game yet. Their first overall pick says they're playing like ass. That was his quote. That's what he said. They're at the Arizona Cardinals, who had a loss this past Thursday night against Seattle. And Cardinals are 9.5 favorites. What do you think, Bob?
I'll take the Cardinals.
Cardinals are overall playing solid. Titans are playing like ass. I'm going to take the Cardinals, too. Give me the Cardinals by 17. 4:05 p.m. on CBS, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, suffering their first loss this past weekend, will take on the Seattle Seahawks, who are playing very well out of the gate. Seattle's 3-point favorites. What do you think, Bob?
You know what? I'm going to take Tampa Bay.
He's going to take Tampa Bay.
I think Baker will have a good game against them.
I'm going to take... Give me Seattle by 3. Part of me wants to take Tampa Bay. It's the battle of the old teammates because Darnold and Baker played with each other in Carolina. Seattle's defense is just better. Tampa Bay's is a little inconsistent. I do think it'll be by 3 points. If not, I do see Tampa Bay potentially winning this game. I'm going to take Seattle, though. They're at home. The defense is one of the top in the nation, in the league. It's. I think Tampa Bay just needs a little bit more of the defensive end, but both teams are this could be a potential playoff matchup, though, for in all seriousness. 4:25 p.m. on Fox, Detroit Lions coming off a win against Cleveland. They'll go to Cincinnati to play the Bengals. We don't know the result of the Bengals game tonight, but Detroit's favored by 8.5. What do you think, Bob?
I'll take Detroit because I think Cincinnati's a mess.
I'm taking Detroit as well.
I think Cincinnati's a mess.
Detroit's coordinators in their team, their new coordinators, the team's getting used to the play calling. Things are getting a little bit better. Detroit's just it started coming to their own again. And because, they had to make adjustments with the new coordinators and everything. And they just look like themselves the past couple of weeks. I'm going to take Detroit. I do think it could be by 17 or 20 points. I'm not joking. So I think they'll roll. 4:25 p.m. on Fox. Washington Commanders at the Los Angeles Chargers. And you have the Commanders coming off a bad loss against the Atlanta. They only lost by 7, but Atlanta manhandled them the entire game. And then you have the Chargers coming off a loss against the Giants. And Chargers are 3-point favorites.
I'm going to go Washington.
He's going Washington.
I'm going to go Washington.
I'm going to go Chargers. They're at home. I do think they're their overall better team here. Yes, I know they lost to the Giants. And I'll give Giants credit where credit's due. They played a very good game there. And Jackson Dart moved the ball down the field. But that was the difference. Russell Wilson's not bad. Russell Wilson was playing overall pretty good. But Dart kept running the clock, moving the ball down the field, and putting points on the board. That's what you got to do. So Giants offense figured out a way to put enough points aboard, burn enough clock to beat the Chargers. That's what the Browns need to do. But I have the Chargers win this one. We also don't know if Jaden Daniels is playing or not. He hasn't played the past couple games, but we'll see. But I'm taking the Chargers this one. 8:20 p.m. NBC, waiting all day for a Sunday night. New England Patriots at the Buffalo Bills, both coming off wins. And Bills are 7.5 favorites. Bob, what do you think?
Buffalo
there. They're the best team in New York right now, in football. The others have been hard to watch. But again, I'm giving Giants credit for that past win. New England is not a bad team by any means. Give me Buffalo by 10. I think it'll be a closer game.
Well, there's only one other team in New York.
Jets, Giants.
They're the only team in New York.
If you want to be technical.
Yeah, technical about it, the Giants and the Jets play in New Jersey.
Hey, you're right. There you go. But yeah, I'll take Buffalo too. Monday, October 6th on ABC, 8:15 p.m., the Kansas City Chiefs, coming off a big win against the Ravens, at the Jacksonville Jaguars, who got a good win against, I have to look at it back, San Francisco. That was an upset too. You're at Jacksonville. What do you think, Bob?
I'm going to take the Kansas City Swifties to win it.
There you go. I'm also taking Kansas City. They're favored by 3 in this game. Give me Kansas City by 13. I think they'll break away. They'll make the lead a little bit bigger. But Jacksonville's playing a bit better than I thought they would, which I don't like because we have their first round pick. So that pick devalues every time they win. So I'm going to also cheer for the Chiefs so that the Browns' other first-round pick can do better because Browns are making their own first-round pick too much better. So there you go. Bye weeks this week. We do have byes. Chicago Bears, the Atlanta Falcons, Green Bay Packers, and Pittsburgh Steelers, all on byes for Week 5. So make sure when you set your fantasy lineups to watch out for that because that is going to make a difference there.
So let's see. Who's leading the Browns division right now? Is Pittsburgh?
It would be Pittsburgh, yeah.
Are they 3-1?
Yes, they are. They are 3.
What Baltimore?
Baltimore's 1-3.
1-3?
They've only beat Cleveland, yeah.
Wow.
They've been struggling.
I haven't been really following it.
So, yeah, Bengals are 2-1. Again, they played tonight, so we don't know there.
I think the Bengals are going to have problems.
Only undefeated teams are Bills and Eagles. Winless teams right now, again, I'm reading this as 2 of them are playing tonight. Jets, Dolphins, Titans, and Saints. That's it. The rest have at least won a game there, so at least Cleveland's not on that list, so we'll take that there. Hey, well, we got to get going here.
I hope next week we can be talking about the next round of the MLB.
MLB playoffs for both Cleveland and Cincinnati. We'll talk about how the Aurora and Cuyahoga Falls game went, and we'll talk about the next game that will follow that for high school there. We'll talk about the Brown. We will eventually talk about it. How they did in London. We'll talk about Ohio State, Akron, and the MAC and the Big Ten, and all that fun stuff we always talk about. But, yeah, I hope we're not talking Major League Baseball off-season.
No, I hope not.
Next week. There.
Let's keep it rolling, guards.
So there you go. So
before we go here, listening to the Fox game on television the other day. Did you watch it?
No.
The announcer called them the Indians.
There you go.
On Fox.
It's still slipping out.
It's still slipping out. And this morning on Channel 8, the news guy said the Indians. Then he caught himself. They're still slipping out. Well, they're still the Indians.
We were that team for over 100 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that.
Wahoo here, man. Wahoo.
But this is still an Indian shirt I'm wearing. So there you go. Thank you, producer Bob. Thank you, other Bob. And without further ado, go Guards.
Go Guards.
Reds. Go Browns. Go Zips. Go Buckeyes. See you guys. Have a good one.